When installing a hot tub, several key electrical considerations must be addressed to ensure safety and proper operation. Firstly, it's essential to determine the actual circuit requirements. Don't solely rely on the sticker on the hot tub itself. Check the manufacturer's specifications for the hot tub pump and any other electrical components. This information may differ from what is indicated on the sticker. Secondly, if the actual circuit requirements exceed the existing 15 amp circuit, an upgrade to a 50 amp 240 volt circuit will be necessary. This upgrade involves replacing the existing wiring with thicker gauge wire, most likely 6-3 nm cable. A new circuit breaker rated for 50 amps will also be required at the electrical panel. Furthermore, the installation of a new disconnect switch may be needed. Thirdly, a disconnect switch is a crucial safety component required for all hot tub installations. This switch allows for the complete shutoff of power to the hot tub in case of an emergency or when performing maintenance. The disconnect switch must be located within 5 feet of the hot tub and be easily accessible. Fourthly, energy efficiency is an important consideration, especially in a home designed to conserve battery usage. To minimize heat loss and reduce energy consumption, installing a hot tub cover is highly recommended. Additionally, consider using a timer or a smart controller to limit hot tub usage during peak energy consumption hours. Fifthly, proper protection of the electrical circuit from the weather is paramount. NM cable is not suitable for direct exposure to the elements. To protect the circuit for rain, snow, and sunlight, install conduit or use weather-resistant wire, such as UFB cable. Sixthly, grounding the hot tub is essential to prevent electrical shock. This can be achieved by driving a grounding rod into the earth and connecting it to the hot tub's grounding log. Alternatively, the hot tub can be bonded to the electrical system of the house, ensuring a continuous path to ground. Consult Article 680.42 in the National Electrical Code, or NEC, for bonding requirements. The NEC, which is a widely adopted standard for electrical installations, provides detailed guidelines for hot tub installations. Refer to NEC Article 680, Part 4 specifically for hot tub requirements. Other considerations include, firstly, consulting with a licensed electrician for guidance on the wiring and installation process. A qualified electrician can ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and safety standards. Secondly, obtaining the necessary permits for the electrical work is crucial. Permits ensure that the installation is inspected and approved by local authorities. Thirdly, regular inspection of the circuit and components is essential to ensure safety and proper operation. Look for any signs of damage or wear and address any issues promptly. Fourthly, always follow the manufacturer's instructions for the hot tub and water care. Proper water chemistry and maintenance are essential for the longevity and safe operation of the hot tub. The requirements related to the type of wiring needed depends on whether the wiring will be direct buried in conduit or exposed. UFB cable is designed for direct burial, while THHN or THWN wire is typically used inside conduit. The NEC specifies the allowable uses and installation methods for different types of wiring. The size of the conductor also depends on the ampacity rating needed for the 50 amp circuit. For a 50 amp circuit, a minimum of number 6 American wire gauge, or AUG, copper conductors are typically required. However, the specific size may vary depending on the type of insulation and the ambient temperature. Consult NEC Table 310.15 B16 for ampacity ratings of conductors. The overcurrent protection, such as a circuit breaker, must be sized appropriately for the conductors. A 50 amp circuit requires a 50 amp circuit breaker to protect the wiring from overloads and short circuits. The circuit breaker should be installed in the electrical panel and labeled appropriately. The NEC specifies requirements for the location and accessibility of the disconnect switch. It must be located within sight of the hot tub and readily accessible. The disconnect switch must be rated for the voltage and current of the circuit and must be capable of disconnecting all ungrounded conductors. The NEC also specifies requirements for grounding and bonding of the hot tub. The hot tub must be grounded to the grounding electrode system of the house. Bonding is also required to ensure that all metal parts of the hot tub are electrically connected. This helps to prevent electrical shock hazards. Remember that electrical codes and regulations can vary depending on the location. Check with the local electrical inspector to ensure compliance with all applicable codes. Also be aware of voltage drop. Voltage drop refers to the decrease in voltage that occurs along a conductor due to its resistance. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or overheat. To minimize voltage drop, use the correct size conductor for the length of the circuit. Consult NEC Chapter 9, Table 8 for conductor properties. GFCI protection is also important. Ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection is required for all hot tub circuits. A GFCI is a device that detects ground faults and interrupts the circuit to prevent electrical shock. The GFCI protection can be provided by a GFCI circuit breaker or a GFCI receptacle. The NEC requires that all 125 volts, 15 and 20 amps receptacles located within 6 feet of the inside wall of the hot tub must have GFCI protection. Wiring and conduit offers physical protection for the conductors and is required in some locations. Rigid metal conduit, or RMC, intermediate metal conduit, or IMC, electrical metallic tubing, or IMT, and rigid polyvinyl chloride, or PVC, conduit are common types of conduit used for electrical installations. The type of conduit used depends on the application and the environmental conditions. Weatherproof boxes and fittings are essential for outdoor electrical installations. These boxes and fittings are designed to protect electrical connections from moisture and corrosion. Use only weatherproof boxes and fittings that are listed for outdoor use. Proper sealing of conduit and fittings is crucial to prevent moisture from entering the electrical system. Use sealant or duct seal to seal conduit joints and fittings. This will help to prevent corrosion and electrical problems. Use caution when working with electricity. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical components. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician. Before backfilling any trenches, ensure that the wiring is properly protected. Use warning tape or other markers to indicate the location of the buried wiring. This will help to prevent accidental damage to the wiring in the future. Finally, regular maintenance is essential to ensure the safety and reliability of the electrical system. Inspect the wiring, connections, and components regularly. Address any problems promptly to prevent further damage or hazards. Consider the ambient temperature. The ambient temperature can affect the ampacity of conductors. If the ambient temperature is high, the ampacity of the conductors may need to be derated. Consult NEC Table 310.15b2 for ampacity correction factors. Also, consider the number of current carrying conductors in a raceway or cable. If there are more than 3 current carrying conductors in a raceway or cable, the ampacity of the conductors may need to be derated. Consult NEC Table 310.15b3 for ampacity adjustment factors. Surge protection can protect the hot tub's electrical components from damage caused by voltage surges. A surge protective device, or SPD, should be installed at the electrical panel to protect the entire circuit. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation and maintenance. Always use listed and labeled equipment. Ensure that all electrical equipment used for the hot tub installation is listed and labeled by a recognized testing laboratory. This indicates that the equipment has been tested and meets safety standards. Use appropriate wiring methods. The NEC specifies the allowable wiring methods for different applications. Use the appropriate wiring method for the hot tub installation to ensure safety and compliance with code. Be aware of underground wiring requirements. If any wiring is buried underground, it must be installed in accordance with the NEC requirements. This includes using the correct type of wiring, burying it at the correct depth, and protecting it from damage. Ensure proper support for wiring. Wiring must be properly supported to prevent it from sagging or becoming damaged. Use cable ties, clamps, or other appropriate methods to support the wiring. Consider the use of a subpanel. If the electrical panel is located far from the hot tub, consider installing a subpanel closer to the hot tub. This can reduce voltage drop and make it easier to disconnect power to the hot tub. Ensure that the subpanel is properly sized and installed in accordance with the NEC. Also, be aware of bonding requirements for metal parts. All metal parts of the hot tub, including the pump, heater, and other components, must be properly bonded together. This helps to prevent electrical shock hazards. Use bonding jumpers or other approved methods to bond the metal parts together. Consider the use of a timer or control system. A timer or control system can be used to automatically turn the hot tub on and off at specific times. This can help to save energy and reduce operating costs. Choose a timer or control system that is compatible with the hot tub and that meets all applicable safety standards. Be aware of the requirements for lighting. If any lighting is installed near the hot tub, it must meet the requirements of the NEC. This includes using listed and labeled fixtures, providing GFCI protection, and maintaining proper clearances. Consider the use of a spot pack. A spot pack is a pre-wired control panel that includes all of the necessary components for operating a hot tub, such as the circuit breaker, GFCI protection, and control system. Using a spot pack can simplify the installation process and ensure that all of the components are properly matched. Ensure proper ventilation for equipment. Some hot tub components, such as the pump and heater, generate heat. Ensure that these components are properly ventilated to prevent overheating. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for ventilation requirements. Be aware of the requirements for access. The NEC requires that all electrical equipment be readily accessible for maintenance and repair. Ensure that there is adequate access to the hot tub's electrical components. Consider the use of a weatherproof enclosure. If the hot tub's electrical components are located outdoors, consider using a weatherproof enclosure to protect them from the elements. Choose an enclosure that is listed and labeled for outdoor use. Ensure proper drainage for equipment. If water can accumulate around the hot tub's electrical components, ensure that there is proper drainage to prevent damage. Provide a drain or other means of removing water from the area. Also, be aware of the requirements for swimming pools. If the hot tub is located near a swimming pool, it must meet the requirements of the NEC for swimming pools. This includes maintaining proper clearances from the pool, providing GFCI protection for all electrical equipment, and bonding all metal parts. Consider the use of a remote control. A remote control can be used to operate the hot tub from a distance. This can be convenient for adjusting the temperature or turning the hot tub on and off. Choose a remote control that is compatible with the hot tub and that meets all applicable safety standards. Ensure proper labeling of equipment. All electrical equipment associated with the hot tub must be properly labeled. This includes labeling the circuit breaker, disconnect switch, and other components. Use labels that are durable and weather resistant. Follow all manufacturer's instructions. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions for installing and operating the hot tub and its electrical components. This will help to ensure safety and prevent damage to the equipment. Consult with a qualified electrician. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, consult with a qualified electrician. An electrician can help you to ensure that the hot tub is installed safely and in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. Remember to obtain all necessary permits. Obtain all necessary permits from your local building department before beginning any electrical work. This will help to ensure that the installation is inspected and approved. Finally, prioritize safety. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity. If you are not sure how to do something safely, consult with a qualified electrician.